What does Africa mean? Because we calling ourselves in words is powerful. You calling yourself something, do you know what it means? Africa was named after a man named, what's his name? Leo Scipio Africanus.
Yes, sir.
He was a white man.
That's right.
He was a Roman general.
Right.
He fought against a powerful black man was known as the Punic Wars over Africa. They fought for Africa. And he won, so they named it Africa.
Right.
Now, America, what does that go back to? America is named after a man named Amerigo Vespucci.
Teach. That's right.
He is Columbus's navigator. He helped Columbus get to this side of the world. So that's the question. It's two different white men. So my question, do you come from two white men? Hell to the no.
Bring it out.
So how is it that you can sit here and say, I'm an African American if you don't come from two white men?
That's right.
What you coming to find out is white people have been keeping a big secret from you, bro. And we gonna get that. Give me Psalms chapter 83.
Bring it out.
Give me Psalms 83, because what you gonna find out is you're the most important people on the face of the earth. It's a reason why they made you slaves. It's a reason why they gun you down. It's a reason why you don't get no justice. And the Bible tells us. Listen what you got. Give me the truth. Start verse 1.
Psalms chapter 83 and verse 1.
Bring it out.
Keep not thou silence, O God.
Now this is King David. He said, keep not silent on God. He want God to activate for some reason. Read.
Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God.
Why?
For lo, thy enemies make a tumult.
He said, God's enemies make a tumult. So first off, it's telling you, everybody don't love you. God has enemies. Everybody ain't Christian. Everybody don't love black people.
Right.
You got enemies, and your enemies is God enemies. Let's see what these enemies did. Read.
And they that hate thee have lift up the head. They have taken crafty counsel.
It said they took crafty counsel. What is crafty counsel? Crafty counsel is when they meet in these secret meetings. There ain't no black people in there, and they figure out how can we control the black population.
That's right.
How can we make it so they men want to be gangbangers?
Right.
How can we make it so they women want to be sexualized and promiscuous? And how they do it? They do it through the media.
Right.
They do it through the music.
Right.
These things is crafty counsel, but it go even deeper than that. And we gonna show you. Read on.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
Against who?
Thy people.
It said the God enemies came against God's people. So hold that. Who is God's people?
Everyone.
Everyone. You say everyone. What did you say?
Yeah.
You say the same thing. So this is the question. How can everyone be God's people if God got enemies?
Right.
Is the enemies God's people? They can't be his people and his enemies. It can't be the same.
Let them know.
I'm gonna show you, brother. I'm gonna show you. You know what? I used to think the same way you think. And you're right in that fact that we do become our own enemies. But God not talking about us in this particular situation. Who is God? Who is God's people? We're gonna prove that first. Read what you got, Matthew 2.
Matthew chapter 2 and verse 6. And thou Bethlehem in the land of Judah art not the least among the princes of Judah. For out of thee shall come a governor that shall rule my people Israel.
Who is God's people?
My people Israel.
No, I thought everybody was God's people.
My people Israel.
But you coming to find out, God has a particular people he loves. And he don't love everybody.
That's right.
God's people are the Israelites.
That's right.
And brother, that's your real nationality. You're not African American.
Right.
You are an Israelite from the tribe of Judah.
Right.
The same tribe is Jesus Christ.
That's right.
Meaning what? Jesus Christ, your blood brother.
Right.
The same way we say that's my bro, and he ain't even your real bro, but he your bro because we from the same tribe.
Right.
You understand? Go back to Psalms 83. Now read that again.
Psalms chapter 83 and verse 3. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
So God's enemies took crafty counsel against these people on this sign here. God's people. The so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. All those three groups of people, which make up 12 tribes, all going through the same oppression. And it was put on us by God's enemies. And we're going to find out who God's enemies is. Read on.
And consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
It said, the enemies of God said to these people, let us cut them off from being a nation. So what they do, they said, they are no longer Judah. They're no longer the Israelites. They're no longer God's chosen people. But they are Negroes. They are Mexicans.
Right.
They are Spicks.
Right.
They are niggas, just to be plain. They are African Americans.
Bring it out.
That's such a proud thing. We are Africans Americans. We are two different white people. We should be proud of that. They cut you off from being who you really are.
Right.
Read on.
That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
They said they did this. Why?
That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
They don't want you to remember you an Israelite.
Right.
Not even to the point, if I ask you, what does Israel mean? What do Israel even mean? It ain't even in your remembrance. Our people don't even remember it no more. Remember, who seen Roots?
I did.
You seen Roots? I remember my granddaddy sat me down and made me watch it when I was a kid. I hated it. I said, oh my goodness. But I'm glad he did it though. I'm glad he did it though. Because in Roots, what did they do to Kunta Kinte? Huh? I want one at a time so we can be decent. Brother, come over here. I want to hear from you too. What did they do to him?
Beat the shit out of him.
They did that. They beat him. What you said. And they cut his leg off. But before, they beat him and did what though? What did they ask him while they was beating him?
What's your name?
What's your name, boy? And what did he say? And then they beat him until he stopped saying that, right? Now I'm gonna show you in actuality what happened. In actuality, they beat you and said, what's your name? And you said, I'm an Israelite.
Right.
And they beat you. I'm an Israelite. And they beat you till you were so weak you said, I'm a nigga.
Bring it out.
I'm a Negro. Now they pass it down. Now you don't even remember you was ever an Israelite.
Right.
You don't remember you came through the Red Sea with Moses.
Right.
You don't remember you walked with Christ and you said crucify him.
Right.
You don't remember that's your line of people.
Right.
They beat it out of you and called you African American. Read on.
For they have consulted together with one consent.
It said they consulted with one consent. What is that one consent? You got what's called the United Nations. Who ever heard of the United Nations? Every nation is there a black man to represent black people in the United Nations? No. Are not we a nation? Why is it we ain't invited to the party? And if it's a black man there, who is he representing? He representing America, the white man. That's who he represents. But you see, the white woman always thinks she got something to say. We heard you for 400 years. We don't want to hear what you got to say. We gonna learn the Bible, thus saith the Lord. Now read it again.
For they have consulted together with one consent.
Bring it out.
They are confederate against thee.
They against you. They so proud that they can see a group of black people speaking about black history and say,
Teach.
I got something to say.
Let 'em know.
I got something to say. Black man. No, shut the hell up. We done listening to you.
Right.
It say they consorted against you. Read.
Bring it
The
out.
tabernacles of
Now, wait, hold on, slow it down. Because what God gonna do now is give you a list of his enemies. Because we need to be on the watch. If his enemies trying to stop us from being who we are, we need to know who they is, right?
Right.
Read what you got.
the tabernacles of Edom.
He said one of his enemies is the tabernacles of Edom. One of God's enemies who put you in slavery is Edom. Who is Edom today? Edom is known as the so-called white man. That's why the white woman, she just had to say something like, I know he gonna get to that part. Hey, black man, I got something to say. No, what you should say is, you're God's enemy. Because that's what the Bible said. You are God's enemy. Read on.
And the Ishmaelites.
And who else?
And the Ishmaelites.
Who are the Ishmaelites? The Ishmaelites today are known as the modern day Arabs. What we fail to see is something happened to us in history that these groups of people don't want you to know. Why is it in your communities you can go to the Arab's gas station, but you ain't got no black gas station. Why you can go to the white man's Kroger, but you ain't got no black? And even if you do got one little mom and pop, they go out of business in about 5-6 years because they don't have the economics to compete with Kroger's and Walmart. And they cut you off from being the people. Hold on, little man. I'm gonna talk to y'all. Hold on, come back around. Don't go nowhere. They cut you off from being the people. Read on.
Of Moab and the Hagarenes.
And you said we cut ourselves off. Give me Joel chapter 3. Because I used to think the same thing. I remember I was young, they said black people sold black people into slavery. Remember, have you ever heard that? They said the African tribes over there, they gathered together the wheat and they sold us into slavery for guns and gold, right? But who told you that?
Who told you that? It's history.
But who history? No, that's the white man's story. That's his story. That's the white man's story. But we got God's history. We're going to show you God's history. We're going to show you the truth.
Bring it up. Same thing. God went to war.
Hold up, peace. Let me show you something. Listen to this. Read what you got.
Joel chapter 3 and verse 3.
Bring it up.
And they have cast lots for my people.
It says they have cast lots for my people. What do that mean to cast lots? I'm going to show you. Somebody, Jolly, help me up, bro. Hold this up for me. Now look at this sign here, right? Come up close, right? What is they doing to this black man right here? What are they doing to this black man? Huh? They doing ignorance? They selling him. They selling him on auction blocks. This is what it means to cast lots. They strap you up and say, this is a big prime slave here. You see he got dreadlocks. He's a good worker here. We can get him ready for you. He can work the fields for you. He's a good slave. I didn't let him go for nothing less than $60. Can I hear $60? $60? $60? $70? $70 sold over there to Master Charles. That's what they did, cast lots. Even to this day, they still cast lots. They got your NFL draft. Well, all I got to do, I have this big strapping man right here. Well, how much he going for? We gonna give him $20 million. $20 million to come move a football for us. To come dunk a basketball. It's the same thing. You understand? It say we cast lots for our people. You put that down. Read.
And they have cast lots for my people and have given a boy for a harlot.
They gave a boy for a harlot, meaning what? They made us breeders. They say, oh, you a big strong, strapping dude. I want some more big, strong little babies. So I'm gonna have you have sex with 6, 5, 7, 8 of these women here to get the same genetics you got. So I can have me a bunch of big strapping slaves running around. And what does that ultimately do? That sexualizes us. So now it's the same thing. Now you got 4, 5 baby mamas. It's the same thing when you was a slave. When you was a buck, you had 4, 5 kids running around. It's the same thing, but now it's mentally. Now it's mentally. Then it was physically. I'm gonna show you. Read on.
And sold.
That's what we are here to do to help our people. Read what you got.
And sold a girl for wine.
And they sold a girl for wine. Like the sister here, this your wife. So, for example, if they wanted your wife back then, we were slaves, what is it we could do? Nothing. They sold her for wine, meaning, oh, I got this, the white man come, oh, I got this new brand, this brandy that I made, you know, I'm gonna sell it, I'm gonna have her come hook you up, and you gonna give me this brandy. They sell you for wine. They have parties, have orgies with our women. And to this day, they still doing it. It's called porn now. You know what I'm saying? They still using our women. Just like when you go in them Arab stores, and there's one black woman in there who working the counter, you don't know what they doing to that woman in the back. But I want to prove the point, because you said black people sold black people. I'm going to show you. It was future. Huh?
It's our future.
I'm going to show you. After we after we answer your first question, because you said black people sold black people, we're going to answer that, and we're going to get the next portion. Read.
And sold a girl for wine, that they might drink. Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon?
Who is Tyre and Zidon? Tyre and Zidon is 2 African nations. What we better realize is everybody that is black is not the same people. For example, go to Exodus chapter 11. You heard all your life, oh, I come from Africa. I come from Africa. What part of Africa? There's over 50 countries in Africa. They speak over 100 different languages. Which one do you come from? Which one do you come from?
My mama, Gloria D. Williams.
She's a country in Africa?
Yes, she's a country at the house.
Brother, shh. Listen good.
Exodus chapter 11 and verse 7. Read. But against any of the children of Israel
Remember, we are the children of Israel. Read.
shall not a dog move its tongue.
These white people is dogs. There's nothing they can say against us because they did evil to us. The Lord chose us to be the chosen people, and they did evil to us. Read.
Against man or beast.
They can't even speak against your dog. They can't say nothing to your pit bull. Oh, your pit bull is too wild. Shut the hell up. Read.
That ye may know how that the Lord doth put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel.
Now put a difference between Egyptians and Israel. I'm putting in modern day terms that you can understand. He put a difference between the so-called Africans and the so-called African Americans.
That's right.
We ain't the same people. Now we still got people over there who got left when the ships left, but we ain't the same people. They are Hamites. We are the seed of Shem. We are the chosen. Now go back to that, because you said we sold each other. No. What you coming to find out is them African nations ain't our people. They knew they was selling the chosen people because they was mad, as well as the white man was mad that they wasn't picked to be the chosen people. Read on.
Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coast of Palestine?
Who is the coast of Palestine? Who are the Palestinians? Who is that? You know, bro? Bro, what's your name? So it said the Africans and the Palestinians came together. Who are the Palestinians? Who is Palestine? You know. They at war right now. The Palestine is at war with the so-called Jewish man. Who are the Palestine? The so-called Arabs. The Palestinian is the Arab.
We used to scream black power while Heron was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission, minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold, from Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.